Alrighty, so the story for today, I want to tell you my favorite trooper story. Now, for many of you, or I guess some of you might not realize, there's cops and then there's troopers. Troopers aren't necessarily cops. That's the way it is here in Ohio. And I think everybody agrees that troopers are pricks. I say that because if you ask a trooper, they'll probably say that too. I have some friends that are troopers. Actually, a really good friend of mine is a trooper. He lives across the street from me. And he's going to see this video. And when he sees it, he'll probably tell me he agrees. I'll probably give him a heads up. But it is what it is. I like picking on troopers. And I'm sure they like picking on me. They just don't do it to my face. So anyway. So one night, I was driving back I work at an inner city precinct, and I was driving back. I was leaving a hospital. It was a hospital that's like way on the other side of town. I can't remember why I was at the hospital. I think I was taking like a mental health patient or something up to the hospital for treatment. So I'm driving back down the interstate, and I see this trooper riding this car's butt. And I'm like, all right, I know what's going to happen. This guy's about to pull this car over. Next thing you know, I see the blue lights kick on. Car starts to pull over the side of the road. And, it's probably 3 a.m. on the interstate. Not a lot of cars out there. I know that the troopers don't generally have a lot of backup. So being a good police officer that I am, I pulled over with the trooper and just parked behind him with my lights on. He made his approach up to the vehicle. I stood way off to the side on the passenger side of the car. I was just there for safety. I wasn't going to interfere with his traffic stop or anything. I was just there to make sure if there was a bad guy in that car, that everybody went home safe that day. Because even though troopers are pricks, we still look out for them. Because they're good guys. They're just pricks, but they're good guys. So I see him talking to the driver of this vehicle, and I can kind of hear, it sounds like he's looking to do like a drunk driver type stop. I'm like, okay. So he pulls the driver out of the car. It's this female, I don't know, real pretty, like college age girl. She was wearing like a skirt that was a little bit longer than her knees and some heels. She was dressed really nice, real nicely put together. Someone that the part of town I don't see people like that. So I see him pull out of the car and talk to her about how much she's had to drink, and she swears she hasn't had anything to drink. He mentions, he's like, I'm not really smelling alcohol coming off your breath, but the way you're driving, I'm concerned. So I'd like to have you do some field sobriety tests. And she agrees. So he does the eye check, the nystagmus check, and then goes on to do the walk and turn, and the one-leg stand. And I told you she was wearing heels. They weren't ridiculously long heels, but she was wearing heels nonetheless. And he, just like we do with everybody, gave her the chance to take her heels off. She said, no, I'm fine. I'll walk in my heels. So this girl does the walk and turn perfect. Heel-toe steps in heels at 3 a.m, wearing a skirt and heels. And then does the one-legged stand with heels on, for 30 seconds, flawlessly. The trooper says thank you, goes ahead and tells her to go and have a seat in her car. He takes her license back. He's just going to go finish up his checks and stuff. And once she's sitting in her car and she's no longer in earshot of what we were talking about, I turned to him and I said, man, I am so glad you didn't hem her up. I was like, I have never seen anybody do field sobriety tests that well. And the trooper gets this big smile on his face. He's like, oh, thanks. I've got a lot of practice. I do them all the time. He didn't realize that I was talking about the girl and how well she performed the field sobriety test. He thought that I was complimenting him on his ability to have someone else do the field sobriety test. I think he let her go with a warning that night. So all was well. It's not actually true that troopers will write their own mothers, because I witnessed a trooper give somebody a warning that night. So that's one of my favorite trooper stories, and I just wanted to share it with you. Thanks for watching. I'll talk to you soon.